Yo, 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 everyone! We're just listening to Techno Axe, the breakdown. And as is, we are live streaming. Me and Mike Blue here are here. Unfortunately, we don't have all the art assets yet ready to go, but we're pretty much ready to kick off Strategic Non-Compliance. Mike Blue here, say hello to the audience.
Hey, love this intro. It's very metal.
Yep. As is, it's been a very busy week for a few of us and all that. As I said earlier about Mebin, that is Techno Axe, the breakdown. He's got royalty-free music for any of those that want to use some music for their videos or live streaming, as long as you give them proper permission or attribution. So, anyway, continuing on, Mike.
Yeah.
Have you heard any fun news this week?
Not anything really super noteworthy, aside from the fact that our Oregonian newspaper went on record and basically announced that Portland Police Bureau, as a matter of practice, lie to people and tell them that they could be arrested for filming while they're filming to discourage people from documenting them. But that's a local news issue, but I think that's kind of creepy. But I will fish up that link. But yeah, a police sergeant said under oath during a police inquiry that, he worked for Portland Police Bureau for 30 years. Guy went on the record and said that officers routinely tell people, hey, you could be arrested for filming, just to discourage them from filming in the first place. So that's a big screaming hello justifying what I do, you know. They need to be filmed if they're going to be, discouraging people by leading them to believe that they're going to be arrested if they do film. Then obviously we all need to film them more.
Well, and that puts us back onto the fun track is why we're actually going to be doing this more often. We finally figured out sort of times and dates that we're going to be doing Strategic Non-Compliance. And we're looking at Wednesday around 3 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific Standard Time. For those of you who are on the East Coast, that will be pretty handy. But don't worry for those on the Pacific that might be still at work. Guess what? We're going to be streaming at, what was it, 5 o'clock, or was it, no, it was 6 o'clock on Friday, correct?
6 o'clock Friday, 3 o'clock Wednesday, yep.
Yep, and that's all Pacific.
Yeah, buddy, I can't wait to interact with people. And the whole idea of Strategic Non-Compliance, people, is Bunny Boots and I are going to be reaching out to folks that are not complying with the status quo in their way, and compare apples to oranges. Compare the way that we, Bunny Boots and myself, both of us have radically different styles and ways of going about things, but comparing both our styles and ways of non-compliance with the system with the guests we have on. And I'm really excited to go on this journey and actually learn these things from other people, because there's so many other things that we could learn by interacting with other people that are bucking the system.
Yeah, and as is, I've been getting out there and live streaming and debating with people this week. I've been on the Morning Kumite twice. Talked with the notorious Jim, or Billy the Anti-Bully, as some people know him, or Mr. Metacore, the internet aristocrat. And I've talked with also former police officers, people going into the police, and looks like we'll be getting ready to have other people on and lined up. They'll be interested to hop in here and have discussions with us in the coming weeks.
I would love to talk with some cops and have a, structured, mature conversation. No heckling, no person belittling the other, but just, talk about the issues. I would love it. I've also got a friend of mine that used to work for Oregon Highway Patrol by the name of Nick Stacy. We'll have Nick Stacy on. I forgot to mention that to you when we were talking who we have lined up off the air, but that should be a lot of fun. I've had Nick Stacy on when I was first doing Strategic Non-Compliance with my friend James Peach about a year ago, but I really like this guy's outlook, and I'm looking forward to having that former highway patrolman on the air with me and Mr. Boots.
Yeah, it'll be interesting having the various conversations. And as is, when this goes to archive on YouTube, I'll have links to the actual talk shows and where I've live streamed and talked it out with people. So this way you have a chance of checking up on what we've been up to so far this week. Shall we go ahead and do a follow-up on updating everybody what's going on with Desoto and Charlie Dog?
Oh yeah, man. Well, you have all the details because you just read me the statement that the police chief put on their DeSoto Police Department's Facebook wall. So I think you should fill the people in with the details while I finish eating this trail mix box or bar.
Yeah. Well, as is, what's quite interesting is after our little podcast what was it over the weekend with Charlie Dog there. There was a couple tyrant alerts and people started calling up and voicing their concerns and leaving messages on their Facebook page. And it was quite interesting how the DeSoto Police Department responded, because what happened is they did an initial response, and then they did a follow-up response, and then after that, which was promptly pulled down for a specific reason. They got called out on it real quick too. They put up a really, really neutered follow-up response after that follow-up response that was removed. But it is quite interesting. But let's give me a second here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the first one here. Well, the first response that they had, and read that one to you guys. And as I said, right now we're just doing black screen because we don't have the art assets ready. We're still in the process of getting that developed. It's been a very busy week for all of us. And let's see here. February 6th, was it? Okay, yeah. So the first response was the DeSoto Police Department Internal Affairs Division is actively investigating YouTube posts that was authored by Mr. Charlie Dominguez, which is Charlie Dog. Mr. Dominguez... oh, wait, is this the second one? I think they did... yeah, okay, I guess they pulled down the other one. So this is the neuter one here. Mr. Dominguez is known throughout the region for recording public affairs personnel while they're conducting their daily affairs. Links to his various YouTube videos. However, this particular incident involved one of our officers. Another link. The administration of our police department takes allegations of misconduct very seriously. Once our investigation is complete in this matter, has been thoroughly completed, and the police department will address all inquiries and concerns regarding this case. The professional men and women of our police department remain committed to ensuring our community is safe as well as protected on a daily basis. Now, this is actually the follow-up response. So they removed two prior postings now. I just realized. And so it's quite interesting because this is the neutered response. You know, I think I might go ahead and I'm going to do a share screen with this specific thing, because what happened was someone was smart enough to go ahead and do a copy paste over to Am I Free to Go? And so you'll have to give me a second here to fix up these scenes.
Well, give me a second to say hi to people I see in the chat room, all right, brother?
Okay.
All right, just a quick shout out to let people know that I do notice you. Thank you, Journey of Aries. King 5, or King 9 will not return. Awesome, thanks for being here. I see Tahoe Man, I don't know you, but I'm glad to see you're here. All right, so Grove Street G Rebel, okay. Thank you guys for participating in my lovely chat.
Okay, I got it pulling up on one here. I'm having issues.
So Bunny Boots and I are just kind of winging this. We have a loose format that we just want to tell people the 2 days that we're going to be doing this on a regular. But if you guys in the chat room want to suggest stuff that we talk about, our subjects, feel free to throw something in, because I can't think of what to talk about.
Yes, and let me adjust this a little bit so this way it's not completely cut off by the chat box here. And I'll recenter it a little bit later. But I'll go ahead and read this. And just remember, I am operating with one giant screen, and so I cannot keep up with everybody's chat boxes while I'm reading this. So this is the updated post that the Wujubo actually made a copy-paste of. And this is going to be a fun read. The DeSoto Police Department recognizes the fact that the video posted on YouTube of an interaction between our officer and a subject riding a bicycle while recording the officer is very serious. The actions of our officer are concerning. However, we should not rush to judgment until all facts and information are ascertained. Too often, an opinion is formed depending on a small amount of information, and there is a failure to see the whole picture due to lack of information. Charles Dominguez, also known as Charlie Dog BMX and Charlie Dog 84, is an amateur videographer that posts videos on video hosting sites such as YouTube, under the guise of First Amendment audit. Mr. Dominguez will video record public servants in the performance of their duties. This behavior at times can interfere with the duties of the officers and cause safety concerns to officers as well as the citizens involved in the specific event. On January 10th, 2018, while video recording, Mr. Dominguez approached a Desoto police officer and a citizen who were in the process of traffic stop. Mr. Dominguez was warned not to approach an officer in his blind spot while interacting with a citizen on a traffic stop. Without provocation, Mr. Dominguez launched into a profanity-laced tirade on the police officer in public. The officer chose to ignore Mr. Dominguez and merely warned him of the dangers associated with his behavior. The video recording of this incident can be viewed on YouTube via 2 links, and it provides these 2 links. On January 23rd, while video recording, Mr. Dominguez approached a citizen in the parking lot of DeSoto Police Department while the citizen was attempting to file police report with an officer. The citizen advised Mr. Dominguez that she did not appreciate him recording her interactions with the police officer. Mr. Dominguez was not deterred and continued to record the police and the citizen making rude, degrading, and hateful remarks. The recording of the incident can be viewed via the following links, and it provides 2 more links. On January 25th, 2018, Mr. Dominguez again returned to the DeSoto Police Department. The officers who had prior encounters with Mr. Dominguez recognized him and were aware of an outstanding warrant for his arrest from another city. Now, it's interesting that it's like, okay, well, they decided to look into the guy and they noticed he had warrants. And I don't even think he actually mentioned his name at all during those prior encounters with the police from my quick looks at it. Mr. Dominguez was taken into custody at the time and was later released. On January 29th, 2018, Mr. Dominguez returned to the DeSoto Police Department lobby to retrieve his bicycle that was seized at the time of his arrest. Prior to exiting the lobby, Mr. Dominguez approached an interview room where an officer was taking a complaint from a citizen and began recording with his phone. An officer ordered him to stop recording the interview and leave the area. Mr. Dominguez refused and was arrested for interference with public duties. On February 3rd, 2018, Mr. Dominguez, while video recording, approached an officer in a shopping center. At the time, our officers was seated in a squad car parked in front of one of the businesses. Once the officer observed and recognized Mr. Dominguez, the officer decided to leave the area. The officer is the same officer that arrested Mr. Dominguez on January 29th. Officer then drove through the parking lot while Mr. Dominguez continued to follow him through on his bicycle while video recording. As viewed on the posted video on YouTube, our officer stopped, exited the vehicle, drew his weapon, and advised Mr. Dominguez that if he continued to follow officer, it would be viewed as a threat. Officer then re-entered his squad car and left the area. The involved officer later contacted his supervisor, advised him of this incident, and the department administration review was initiated. This contact is currently under review by the DeSoto Police Department administration. As with everything we do, there is always another side and more information that it was not publicized. We're in the process of collecting all information, video recordings, witnesses, statements pertaining to this incident. It is not fair to our officer or the situation at hand to rush judgment due to information received from a short video. Mr. Dominguez has since filed an official complaint with our department, and we must protect the integrity of the investigation. Mr. Dominguez has recorded and posted YouTube videos of police officers in neighboring cities. Mr. Dominguez has also recorded firefighters at the DeSoto Fire Station, as well as their personal vehicles and registration tags. He has been observed by officers and firefighters at various scenes riding his bicycle while video recording the officers and citizens involved in particular incidents. My officers and I respect the rights of citizens, including the First Amendment. I also respect the fact that Mr. Dominguez and others want to be sure that our police officers conduct themselves in a professional and fair manner. Therefore, they deem it important to video record our actions while performing duties in public view. However, I do have an issue when behavior interferes with our duties, causes safety concerns, and infringes on other citizens' rights during police contact. I'll cover more of this in a second. I also have an issue with the fact that our officers have been harassed and belittled by actions of Mr. Dominguez, and that's not right. We will continue gathering facts and information relative to this incident, and will make a fair determination as to the totality of the circumstances after a complete review. I promise you the officer involved in this incident is a fine officer, and one of the best we have. The citizens of Desoto should be proud of each and every officer of the Desoto Police Department, as they have to do their very best for the community each day and every day. Chief Joe, Coastal Desoto Police Department. And what's interesting is the parts about citizens' rights that they made, which, as is, there's no right to privacy out in public.
Yeah, that obfuscation that was used by omission in the statement, I really seriously doubt this police chief came up with that on his own. It sounds like the kind of drivel that you would see from a public information officer. But yeah, there is no expectation of privacy in a public space. And I remember Charlie Dog explaining the situation when he was returning his property to get his bicycle back, you know, that one arrest that he talked about when we actually interviewed the fella, was the woman told the cop, according to Charlie Dog's side of things, Mr. Dominguez, that she consented and told the cop that she didn't mind being filmed. And the police side of the story, through this public statement that was made on their DeSoto Police's Facebook page, it says that the very opposite. Now, Charlie Dog is saying, or Mr. Dominguez is saying, that they confiscated his camera for evidence, but would not give him a receipt for it to book it in as even existed. So chances are, you know, I'm so glad that Charlie Dog is lawyered up and he's actually making a official complaint. I saw the corporate news story about what went down with Charlie Dog, and that's really good that he got corporate news attention the day after Bunny Boots and I did the interview with him, and the day after all the other auditors and cop watchers and people that are interested in this subject started mirroring the videos, because Bunny and I asked people to just mirror it and re-upload on your channel to help Charlie Dog out the best we could. And I'm very pleased with that outcome, that it's made such a big splash in that little town that he's in is really cool.
Well, it's not really a little town. It's literally a suburb of the larger Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan area.
Okay, I thought it was out further outside of Dallas, but right on. So it's a big suburb.
It's if you look at the like Google Maps and stuff, you can tell it's a built-up area. That's for sure. It's a suburb area. It's on the outskirts, far outskirts.
But definitely his rights were usurped, and I hope he does do a FOIA like you requested that he do, and get that lobby camera. Because if that lobby camera shows his camera phone, and then they booked him without one, Lucy's gonna have some spanning to do.
Well, it's not just that. Also, that will also prove who's correct in that statement, because right now you have two contradictions of what happened within that police lobby. They say he stopped and filmed someone that was being interviewed. Now the question is how is that all being handled? Well, how was that all handled? And also, what was the words that were exchanged? So that's so those are going to be the important stuff, things that are going on.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, but as is, it's been quite the hot week too with other kind of stuff. Have you heard about some of the other auditors and testers and cop watchers that have been hemmed up?
I have not. I have kind of been doing a news feed fast, so I'm going to depend on you. I know something went down with Cajun Auditor of the Bayou, but he's not talking. He's kind of being mums to word about what's going on, but he was detained and handcuffed recently. I know that much. I just off the phone with him, I asked him if he would come on the show and talk about his approach to cop watching, and he said yeah. So it's just a matter of scheduling, Bunny. If you'd like to get him on, you know, we just need to reach out to him and find out what day he wants to do it.
And I have a person asking my chat who's the second person speaking. That is Mike Bluehair. You can find his YouTube channel at Mike Bluehair. It's not too far off. Bluehair, I think, is one word, right? For your YouTube channel name?
Yeah. Yeah, Mike, first word, Bluehair, as if though that was my last name.
Yeah. Well, you're going to love this one. And thank you for the subscribe, Greg Collins. What's going on is over in Morro Bay, California. It's a small little coastal town, fishing town supposedly or something like that, over in California, where Nasty Nathaniel and Johnny 5-0 went and filmed. And I think it was Johnny 5-0 got it was either one of those two. He got arrested, I think it was like Wednesday, and hauled into the police station for filming inside the lobby. And the police are stating that it's illegal to film inside the lobby of the police station. And that threw up a huge hoopla. So those two returned the following day. And this is the funny part. They got followed around for a few hours by some drunk dude in a red shirt and some small film crew. And they were harassed and verbally taunted and stuff like that. And there was all kinds of little small drama that came from it. But it was quite interesting because this is the first time that I have heard of the general public actually taking to the a task of harassing the people that are filming and following them for a long time.
Believe it or not, when you cop watch quite often, when you're actually out filming the police encounters with the public, I've had what I call cop suckers, you know, people that like the taste of police boot leather, follow me around. I've had people slap at my cameras. I've had people, when I'm filming the police arrest someone, like, you know, hit me in the ribs. I've been spit on. I've been kicked. It's my experience that a lot of these people feel a need to protect their captor. You know, there's this cultural Stockholm syndrome that most Americans have that I find disturbing. And I've actually had more problems with citizens offended that I'm filming the police than from police over the years that I'm doing this. And I'm just throwing that out there. That's just my life experience, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, I mean, this is the first time I've had it happen, well, seen it and had it reported. I mean, I don't actually talk to you enough to really know about all your police interactions and all the stuff that doesn't get shown on camera, because this is the first time it was actually live streamed for a while too by both of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got that. We have the Cajun Mayu, all that stuff, and I'm starting my own live streaming thing with expanding the audience along with debating people and all that fun stuff. Anything else you want to add, Mike Bluehair?
No, man, I just think it's really important, and I'm looking forward to reaching out to other people that are bucking the system and getting their outlook and their strategies, because the idea is to promote everyone's work that we interact with, you know. So through Bunny's interactions with me, he's going to be made better for it, and my interactions with Bunny, and I'm going to be made better for it, and then we bring other people on. I'm also looking forward to reaching out to female auditors and female cop watchers, because honestly, what we do is kind of a sausage fest, and I would like to see more women stepping up and doing this as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is it's a risky kind of thing, so I can understand why ladies are not going to be inclined to go and do it. But I mean, the few that are out there doing this kind of stuff, including those that are doing the public records requests, like dang it, I'm forgetting her name, Teresa there. I mean, still, those are important things that need to be done, and they do have risk. I mean, threats of arrest and all that stuff for trying to get public records has happened in the past, and it's been documented too. Oh, that's right. Thank you for reminding me, Lan Lee Lang. I just remembered. Yeah, apparently Shadowcam got arrested over in Wisconsin too for filming the filming the terminal area, and he was tackled and his equipment broken by the police. And they're saying the airport is private property, which reminds me of something that came out of Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. There, with dang it, I forgot his name off the top of my head, but he's changed it once or twice. So, but it used to be FTG. There. But yeah, how should I put it? The thing is with airports, I think I wish I had the money. I would go over there and get involved with the filming on that one and really challenge them, especially since I would be filming the other side of the TSA line. See how they like that one.
Just the level of entitlement that police get over the years of them working is just crazy. Like, people respond to them as if though they have a certain amount of charisma, and I believe that law enforcement end up becoming brainwashed by the citizens. And I'd like to talk about that a little bit, Bunny.
Oh yeah, well, let's go ahead. Let's hear your thoughts on this.
My little pet theory is this. So if people are going to react to you as if though you're an authority and that you know and that you're powerful and that you're in control, over a period of years, that's going to warp someone's mind and make them more egomaniacal, if you think about it, because everyone looks to that cop for authority, right? That I can see how the uniform and the power to arrest people could very easily be perverting people's minds into giving them a false sense of importance, a false sense of entitlement. And I think it's I don't mean to be victim blaming here, but it's kind of the citizenry's fault for the way that law enforcement behaves in contemporary 21st century society, because they always look to them for the answers when people should really be learning what their civil rights are. People should really be researching at least the first 10 amendments of the U.S. Constitution, they should be learning about their own civil rights, as opposed to, I mean, I can't tell you how many times, Bunny, that I've been filming a police encounter and almost laughing when someone tells a cop, "It's your job to tell me what my rights are." Like, I've literally heard people yell this at cops, or "You're supposed to tell me what my rights are." It's like, no. And I'm thinking in my head, what I'm laughing is like, no, it's the cop's job to try to enforce laws that he believes that he's observed, that he has reasonable articulable suspicion that a crime has been committed, and that he could question you only about that issue. But so many times, more often than not, people are looking to cops for answers as if though it's the cop's job. It's not. No, the cop's job is to try to collect data for the prosecutor to get you hemmed up for as long as possible. I mean, that's what a cop's job is. And I find it really, really annoying and sometimes laughable, the way that people interact with law enforcement. I believe cops are being brainwashed by the way that people are basically licking their boots constantly, and that's just my outlook on it, man. I mean, so I don't mean to be blaming people that get hemmed up by the cops, but, I think a little less boot licking and a little more spine and a little more testicular fortitude would benefit society.
Yeah. And Blue Ghost Media, we actually just talked about that about 10 minutes ago. But yeah, the thing is what we got going on is the fact is you need to be educated. That's part of the reason why I sit down and do the videos of reading case law and stuff like that. Well, those live streams in this past month, well, this last 2 months, I got to sit down and do some more reading for you guys, because there's tons of important case law that impacts various aspects of our lives. It's just, it's very time consuming to sit down, if you noticed, because some of those, like the ACLU v. Alvarez, that took me 3.5 hours to read. And there's more case laws that are, possibly coming up too with, what was it, J.C. Playford and his news company that he works for. They're currently just had oral arguments over in the 9th Circuit. And it'll be interesting here in about a month or so, where we'll have the decision to come out on that. And we'll see what kind of impact that has when it comes to press on the 9th Circuit and access to the various public meetings and stuff like that, because the San Diego Police Department has been very egotistical when it comes to who can have access to their certain press events.
Oh, I got to say, hey, a little shout out to Hippie with the Gun. What's up, man? Yeah, I'm going to be doing live streaming now from, Wednesday at 3 p.m. and Friday at 5?
6.
Friday at 6, man. So I'm just letting you know that that's when you tune in for the live streams.
Yeah, and this is going to sort of become a main staple also on my... I'm going to keep this kind of live stream going on my main channel. I still got to talk with my audience about my other live streams there. Oh, and before I forget, That fat guy on Patreon, shout out to you. This is sort of the make up for not putting you in the First Amendment Friday video that I released earlier today. But anything else you can think of that we might want to cover before we end it off tonight?
Well, I know that, well, aside from shameless self-promotion, somebody mentioned in my chat that, let me scroll back and look at it. Nasty Nathaniel's false arrest in Morro Bay. Did you hear anything about that, Mr. Boots?
Yeah, we just talked about that. That's where they...
oh, yeah, okay. Duh, yeah. Okay, yeah. That was Nasty Nathaniel. Does anybody know his real name?
I don't generally ask people for their real names that are involved in all this stuff. If they want to give it to me, they can give it to me, so...
yeah, I'm not trying to dox him or nothing, but, like, you know, I was just curious. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but, go ahead.
Yeah, I was brain farting. I was reading this article when you were talking about it, but that's funny. I'm trying to do the research for what you're talking about, and I'm not listening. Sorry, brother. I'm laughing at myself now. Well, no, I just wanted to come on and shout out to people and let people know that we're going to have a firm time. And this stuff's about to go into high gear. And stay tuned. And, no. How about you plug your stuff, and then I'll plug my stuff, and then we'll get her done and get out of here. How about that?
Okay. Well, the other thing is I just want to plug in people's live streams I've been on. I've been over on the Kumite for 2 days. Morning Kumite is over on the Takasaw channel. Starts at 10 a.m. Central Time. Check it out. It's fun. It's verbal blood sports. People will sit there and have discussions, ranging all over the place, and also yelling. Oh, my favorite kind of thing. I love getting into arguments. So if I can, I'll pop in there when there's something warranted. I can hop in there, or maybe when there's like a downtime and I can find someone to drag in there that I disagree with on something. Believe me, I am challenging tons of people to that and waiting for them to come at me with arguments. Also, I was over earlier today, a few hours ago, I was on the Sinatra Says live streams channel, where I was talking with two other people that about the police and the job safety issue. I could probably say I might have lost, but as I said, I didn't really go in there like swinging with a bunch of information or anything like that. They came at me with numbers and all that stuff and citations. It was a good discussion. I highly recommend popping in there. It's about an hour long. Besides that, I am live streaming with Bunny Boots Inc. to Mixer, YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. So this way, if something happens to me on a live stream or whatever, you're going to be able to see it at least on one of those channels. Though Twitch's rules change might have me removing clips every now and then when people post stuff that doesn't need to be posted in there. But you'll be able to find it in the other locations and backed up to some extent. I am also working on a second YouTube channel that will be acting as an archive source or backup location in case something happens to my main channel here. Anything else for you, Mike?
Well, I just want to get my plugs in. So if you guys are interested, you can always hit my super chat up, because I just now figured out how to do super chat. So that's that lovely little square holla holla, make it rain dollars for me. Also, feel free to jump over to my Steemit blog. That's in the video description underneath this video. It's basically my YouTube channel on steroids. Most of the time I just make a basic title and maybe 1 or 2 sentences describing what the video is, and then leave the video up to the viewer to determine what they think about it. But Steemit, I'm actually blogging, so every so often I'll actually write a few paragraphs. My last favorite thing I posted to my Steemit blog is why are all cops bastards? And I think I made a very good case for why all cops are HCAB. But anywho, so yeah, please feel free to check me out on Steemit. That's MikeBluehair42 at Steemit.com, or Steemit.com / at MikeBluehair42. And also, if you're not familiar with who I am and you're over there on Bunny Boots and stuff, check out the link Protecting the People, Cop Watching with Mike Bluehair, the Monarch review. That's Protecting the People, Cop Watching with Mike Bluehair. And a journalist basically went on a ride-along with me as I was out policing the police. So you guys can check out my stuff there. Thanks for listening, because you didn't get to watch either of us tonight, because we just decided to keep it blank screen because it's a bad hair day. All right. That's all I got. Thanks for watching, guys.
You guys have a good night.